Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese, and for today's video I am pretty excited because we are once again going to be diving into some dark web content, talking a little bit more about the dark web. And I actually have a series about the dark web coming up here on my channel that I've been super excited about, working really hard on. So I can't wait for you guys to see what's to come. With that being said though, today's video is a little bit different where the dark web is concerned, because in the past, we've dove into the terrifying side of the dark web. We've dove into some examples of some places that you could wind up if you are on the dark web, and the dangers of the dark web and all of that jazz. For today's video, we're going to be talking about something very, very, very real to many people all across the world, and that is identity theft. And more specifically, identity theft on the dark web. Now, I've always known about identity theft, but prior to today's video and looking more and more into it, I never realized how much of a part the dark web plays in identity theft. So for today's video, we are going to be diving right on into that and learning what the dark web's role in it really is. For those of you who may feel uneasy about the protection of your personal information and identity, after today's video, you guys might be really excited to hear that today's video is actually sponsored by NordVPN. Now, VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and VPNs protect all of your data and information from anybody who may be trying to access it while allowing you to utilize the internet anonymously. NordVPN has 5,500 plus servers in 60 countries, so they are incredibly fast, has double data encryption, and protects your data while traveling out in public, which is really important to me because I time and time again find myself utilizing free Wi-Fi in public places. Most importantly, you can try NordVPN risk-free as they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you try out NordVPN and realize that it's not for you, you're able to receive your money back within 30 days. So if you guys want to take your privacy online more seriously, you can head to nordvpn.com/Hailey and use my code Hailey, or click the link down in the description and get 70% off of NordVPN at $3.49 a month and receive an additional 4 months free. So thank you so much to NordVPN for sponsoring today's video, and without further ado, let's just dive right on into this. Now, the dark web is a space of not only freedom, but nightmares. If you guys haven't watched my previous videos on the dark web, or if you're unfamiliar with what the dark web is, it's a part of the internet that isn't available or visible to search engines utilized by the average person and requires an anonymizing browser called Tor to access it. Now, in my previous videos, we've dove into some people's experiences on the dark web. We've also dove into different places on the dark web, and we've dove into the really terrifying side of it. Some places that you would never even believe exist on the internet, as we only access the tiniest little portion of the internet in average day-to-day use. And we really dove into just how dark and terrifying the dark web can be. One thing that was really common in a lot of the dark web horror stories is that when people found themselves in places that they shouldn't necessarily be, or in chat rooms that they shouldn't be in, or in live streams that they shouldn't be in, they also found themselves meeting some people there who were able to access their information very quickly. In some instances, I remember there was somebody who went into, I think it was like a torturous dark web live stream, and when they started typing, "You guys are sick, you're messed up," something popped up on their screen basically saying that they knew their name, their address, everything about them, and the best thing for that person to do would just be to log off, never come back to the dark web, and pretend like they never saw what they did. So a very common theme in these dark web encounters is that people on the dark web are able to access their information very quickly, very easily, and very effectively. Like they would just suddenly know everything about them. And that was something that really intrigued me when I thought about the dark web. And I always wondered, how were they able to access it so quickly? I thought that it was probably because they're hackers and they're able to access information that the average person isn't able to access about somebody, and that the average person going onto the dark web hasn't put protective forces in front of them to ensure, that wouldn't happen. But it's a lot deeper than I even thought it was. Now, when it comes to the dark web, people are able to buy things from as simple as subscription service login passwords to bigger things like passports. And if your personal information happens to make it to the dark web, it can be bought for cheap. Unfortunately for many, stolen identities are becoming a massive business. A report from Insights, a cyber intelligence firm, found the number of hacked credit cards showing up on the dark web had jumped 135% in the last 6 months of 2017, up to more than 4,000 credit cards per bank available for sale. Now, dark web markets operate like traditional e-commerce websites, but they often trade in illicit goods. Things like drugs, weapons, stolen data, and more are continuously being sold via the dark web. Now, because so many companies now capture and store personal information, hacking has become a very profitable business. And criminals have flocked to the dark web because it makes it very easy for them to buy illicit goods while remaining completely anonymous. Detailed information about people being accumulated could include date of birth, address, social security number, credit card number, and basically all of somebody's personal information, which is so terrifying to think about. I want to read you guys a quote here that says, "Once your data is in the mix, you're just another resource. Data is often repackaged, resold, re-released, which means if you're exposed once, it's going to be used hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of times before it's all said and done." Which, could you even imagine your personal information like your social security number, your name, your date of birth, your credit card numbers, your address, just all being reused by people that you don't even know, and you don't even know the motive behind it? That's what's so terrifying about identity theft to me, is you just have no idea what somebody is going to utilize your identity for. It goes so far beyond just credit cards. Because as you guys know, your credit card gets compromised, you're able to just take that credit card, tell the bank that it's been compromised, your money will be reimbursed, the card will be thrown away, and you're able to move on and get a new credit card. It's incredibly inconvenient and not something that anybody wants to deal with, but it happens all the time. But when it comes down to your actual identity being sold on the dark web, that gives me chills. Another thing to note is that the illegal data merchants are utilizing the same customer service and sales techniques that the average vendor uses day to day. For an example, they'll encourage previous customers to leave reviews and ratings to help future prospective people decide whether or not they will deliver the stolen identities as promised. So it's basically like an actual business. It works as though it's a real company, but they're selling people's identities and encouraging customer feedback afterwards so that people who want to steal more identities in the future know where the most reputable place to go, and they know that they will receive that identity successfully. Most of us have to watch our digital identity, period, but on the dark web even more so, because like I said, somebody could go from a simple comment on a dark web video or in a dark web chat room, and then all of a sudden somebody replies back to them or sends them a message with their name, their date of birth, their address, and all of their information that they never provided. So when utilizing the dark web, it's something to consider, because once that information is obtained, you don't know if that person's going to sell your information, sell your identity, or just use it as a tactic to scare you. I would never recommend going on the dark web, period. You might find yourself in some terrifying corners. I know that there's people who say that they've been on the dark web and they can't find anything, and that's because a lot of the terrifying chat rooms and terrifying live streams and just horrifying corners of it are still guarded by more protection, and they're heavily secured as well. But if you're utilizing the dark web and suddenly your identity is revealed, you are completely vulnerable there on the dark web. And that is a terrifying thought. Well, you guys, that is it for today's video. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have ever thought about this before. I'd previously never really thought about the idea of my identity being sold on the dark web, or anybody's identities being sold on the dark web at that. And it's just a very chilling thing to think about. With that being said, thank you so much to NordVPN for sponsoring today's video. This video couldn't have been any more perfect for you to sponsor. Like I said, you guys can head to nordvpn.com/Hailey, use my code Hailey, and receive 70% off at only $3.49 a month, plus an additional 4 months free. So thank you so much for sponsoring. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my videos, I would love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button, and please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. It means the world to me to see that you guys are enjoying my content, because I love creating, and I don't know, you guys are just my family, so when I see that you enjoy my videos, it makes my heart super, super happy. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until next time, I love you guys.